Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor was born on the 21st of April 1926. She is the first child of the Duke and Duchess of York. Her family affectionately called her Lilibet, a nickname from her attempts to say her name as a young child. At the time of her birth, no one expected Elizabeth to become queen. Her uncle Edward was next in line for the throne, and her father, Albert, lived a quieter life as the younger brother of the future king. In 1936, everything changed. Edward became King Edward VIII, but soon gave up the throne to marry Wallis Simpson, an American divorcee. This unexpected decision shocked the nation and made Elizabeth's father, King George VI. At just 10 years old, Elizabeth became heir presumptive, meaning she would inherit the throne if her parents didn't have a son. Elizabeth's life changed greatly when her father became king. She and her sister Margaret entered the public eye. Even as a child, Elizabeth took her role seriously. She studied hard and was praised for her dedication. During the Second World War, she showed her commitment by giving a radio speech at 14 to comfort children, and later joining the Auxiliary Territorial Service at 19 to train as a driver and mechanic. She was the first female royal to serve in the armed forces. Elizabeth's sense of responsibility carried into her adulthood. At 13, she met Philip Mountbatten, a spirited young naval officer and Prince of Greece and Denmark. Their bond grew over the years, strengthened by letters exchanged during the war. In 1947, at the age of 21, Elizabeth married Philip in Westminster Abbey. Their wedding brought hope to a country still recovering from war. Together, they had their first child, Charles, in 1948, and a daughter, Anne, 2 years later. In 1952, Elizabeth's life took another major turn. Her father, King George VI, passed away after a long illness, and Elizabeth, at just 25, became queen. She was in Kenya with Philip when the news arrived. It was a moment of deep sorrow, but also one of immense responsibility. Elizabeth promised, "My whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service." Her coronation in 1953 was a historic event, watched by millions on television. Wearing a grand gown and a heavy crown, Elizabeth pledged to serve her people and uphold the law. From that day forward, she balanced tradition with the challenges of a modern world. With Philip by her side as her most trusted supporter, she embraced her role as a leader, guiding Britain through decades of change. The 1950s and 1960s brought major changes to the world, and Queen Elizabeth II had to guide Britain through them. After the Second World War, the British Empire began to fade. Many countries that were part of the empire wanted independence. Elizabeth understood that the world was changing, and she needed to adapt. She focused on strengthening the Commonwealth, a group of nations that had once been part of the empire but were now independent. These nations shared common values and worked together as equals. The Queen traveled widely, visiting many Commonwealth countries, including Australia, Canada, India, and Ghana. Her visits were historic. In 1961, she became the first British monarch to visit Ghana after its independence. By dancing with President Kwame Nkrumah, Elizabeth showed the world that the monarchy was ready to embrace equality and a new way of working with other nations. Back home, Britain was also changing. The 1960s brought new ideas, modern music, and cultural shifts. The younger generation questioned old traditions, and Elizabeth faced the challenge of keeping the monarchy relevant. In 1969, a documentary called Royal Family gave people their first glimpse of royal life. The public saw Elizabeth as a mother and wife, which helped many feel closer to her. However, some critics argued it made the monarchy seem too ordinary. Through all these changes, Elizabeth stayed focused on her duty. She continued meeting world leaders, attending events, and representing her people. Her ability to balance tradition with progress became one of her greatest strengths. Despite criticism, she proved that the monarchy could adapt and still be a guiding force for the future. While leading the monarchy, Queen Elizabeth II also worked hard to be a good mother. She and Prince Philip had 4 children: Charles, Anne, Andrew, and Edward. The royal family was often in the public eye, and their personal lives became a topic of interest. As the eldest son and heir to the throne, Prince Charles had the greatest responsibilities. From a young age, he was trained for his future role as king. He went to Gordonstoun boarding school in Scotland and later studied at Cambridge University. Charles tried his best, but the pressure of being compared to his mother was difficult. Princess Anne, the Queen's second child, was known for her determination and hard work. She became a talented equestrian and even competed in the Olympics. Anne was admired for her strong personality and no-nonsense attitude. The younger princes, Andrew and Edward, also had their share of public attention. Andrew earned respect for his military service during the Falklands War, while Edward explored theatre before taking on royal duties. Despite their public appearances, life behind palace walls wasn't always easy. As the children grew older, their marriages and personal choices brought challenges. In 1981, Charles married Lady Diana Spencer. Their wedding was watched by millions and seemed like a fairy tale. Diana, often called the people's princess, became beloved for her kindness and charm. However, their marriage was troubled and ended in separation in 1992, followed by divorce in 1996. The 1990s were particularly tough for the Queen. In 1992, Windsor Castle caught fire, and 3 of her children's marriages ended in divorce. The public became more critical of the monarchy. Elizabeth called this year her Annus Horribilis, or horrible year. Through it all, the Queen remained calm and steady. Her strength reassured the nation, even during difficult times. Elizabeth believed that the monarchy's ability to endure was its greatest strength, and she worked tirelessly to keep her family and the crown united. Diana, Princess of Wales, was loved worldwide for her warmth and kindness. She could connect with people from all walks of life. As Prince Charles's wife, she became one of the most famous women in the world. Diana used her fame to support important causes, such as raising awareness about HIV/AIDS and the dangers of landmines. However, Diana's relationship with the royal family was not easy. Queen Elizabeth II admired Diana's hard work and dedication, but the growing problems between Diana and Charles made things difficult. Their separation in 1992 and divorce in 1996 were widely reported, and the media often favored Diana. She became even more popular, sometimes overshadowing the royal family. Tragedy struck on 31st August 1997, when Diana died in a car crash in Paris. The world was shocked and heartbroken. Queen Elizabeth stayed at Balmoral with her family, focusing on her grandsons, William and Harry. However, many people criticized the royal family for being too silent. Crowds gathered at Buckingham Palace, demanding a response. The Queen returned to London and gave a rare speech. She spoke as both a queen and a grandmother, praising Diana's unique qualities and comforting the nation. Her words helped ease the tension and showed her deep sense of duty. The early 21st century brought new challenges for Queen Elizabeth II. In 2002, she faced great personal loss. Her younger sister, Princess Margaret, passed away, followed weeks later by the Queen Mother, who died at 101. Despite her grief, Elizabeth continued her duties, showing remarkable strength. The monarchy faced growing public scrutiny. Scandals and controversies involving some members of the royal family tested people's faith in the institution. Yet, Elizabeth's calm and steady leadership reassured the nation. She remained committed to her role, attending public events, state visits, and supporting charities. In 2012, Elizabeth celebrated her Diamond Jubilee, marking 60 years on the throne. Millions across the Commonwealth joined in celebrations, including a grand river pageant and a concert at Buckingham Palace. The event highlighted her dedication and deep bond with her people. Though social media and modern scandals brought new challenges, Elizabeth's steady presence kept the monarchy strong. Her quiet strength and commitment to duty made her a unifying figure, even in times of crisis. On September 9, 2015, Queen Elizabeth II became the longest-reigning monarch in British history, surpassing her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria. This milestone reflected her dedication and commitment to serving her people. When asked about her achievement, Elizabeth responded with humility. She thanked the nation for their support, but reminded everyone that her focus was on serving, not celebrating personal success. Across Britain, people held street parties and fireworks displays, but Elizabeth marked the day quietly, reflecting on her long reign and those who had ruled before her. Elizabeth's reign saw extraordinary changes. She worked with 15 prime ministers, from Winston Churchill to Liz Truss, and faced many challenges during their leadership. Her calm guidance and experience made her a trusted advisor. The Queen also embraced modern advancements, becoming the first monarch to send an email in 1976 and later connecting with people through social media. She balanced royal traditions with the modern world, ensuring the monarchy remained relevant. In 2022, Elizabeth celebrated her Platinum Jubilee, marking 70 years on the throne. The nation celebrated with parades, parties, and a heartfelt speech from the Queen. At 96 years old, her health was declining, and she began passing responsibilities to Prince Charles and Prince William. Still, she remained committed to her role, serving until the end. Queen Elizabeth II passed away on the 8th of September 2022 at the age of 96, bringing an end to her 70-year reign. Her death left the world mourning, but it also inspired gratitude for her lifetime of service. Tributes poured in from across the globe. People gathered at Buckingham Palace and other royal homes to leave flowers and hold moments of silence. Elizabeth was remembered as a symbol of stability and strength, guiding Britain through decades of change. Her leadership combined tradition with progress. She embraced technology, modernized the monarchy's image, and strengthened the Commonwealth. Elizabeth's promise, made on her 21st birthday, to devote her life to service was honored through her actions. As King Charles III took the throne, Elizabeth's legacy continued to inspire. Her reign was marked by resilience, dedication, and humility. She was not only a queen, but a symbol of hope and unity for people in Britain and beyond. Her legacy will be remembered for generations.